Gentlemen, if you're over 50 and watching your hairline recede further back every single year, if you're seeing more hair in your shower drain than on your head, if you're avoiding mirrors because you can't stand seeing that expanding bald spot, I need you to stop everything and listen to what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes. As a dermatologist who has specialized in male pattern baldness for over 23 years, I've treated thousands of men just like you who thought they were destined to go completely bald. But here's what the pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's a specific spot on your scalp, a precise location that, when massaged correctly for just 2 minutes a day using a particular technique, can literally wake up hair follicles that have been dormant for years. Show before, after photos of patient. Chetzit. I'm Dr. Michael Harrison, and today I'm revealing a method that's helped over 2,000 of my patients regrow hair naturally without expensive transplants, without dangerous medications with embarrassing side effects, and without spending thousands of dollars. You don't have to accept baldness as your destiny. What I'm sharing today has changed lives, restored confidence, and saved marriages for men who thought they'd never see thick hair again. Now, I know you're skeptical. You've probably tried those hair growth shampoos that promise miracles but deliver nothing. Maybe you've even considered Rogaine or Propecia but heard horror stories about the side effects. I understand completely, because before I discovered this method, I watched my own father go completely bald by age 55, and there was nothing I could do to help him with conventional treatments. That's what drove me to research alternative solutions, and what I found shocked me. The silent epidemic destroying men's hair. Let me explain what's really happening on your scalp right now as you're watching this. Every single day after you turn 40, a hormone called DHT, that's dihydrotestosterone, is quietly attacking your hair follicles. Think of DHT as the aggressive invader that latches onto your hair roots and slowly strangles them to death. This isn't dramatic language, gentlemen. This is the medical reality of male pattern baldness. Here's how the process destroys your hair. DHT binds to receptors in your scalp, particularly in your hairline and crown area. Once attached, it begins shrinking the hair follicles through a process we call miniaturization. Your once thick terminal hairs become thin, wispy vellus hairs, the same type of hair you have on your arms. Eventually, those follicles become so miniaturized they stop producing visible hair altogether. But here's what most men don't understand. Those follicles aren't actually dead. They're dormant. They're asleep. They're suffocating under layers of hardened sebum, dead skin cells, and calcification that has built up over years of poor scalp circulation. It's like trying to grow a garden in concrete. The seeds are there, but they can't break through. I had a patient named Robert, 58 years old, who came into my office absolutely devastated. He told me his wife barely looked at him anymore. His colleagues at work treated him differently. He felt invisible. When I examined his scalp, I could see the telltale signs: a receding hairline that had crept back almost to his crown, a bald spot the size of a baseball, and the remaining hair was thin and lifeless. He'd spent over $8,000 on hair transplants that partially failed, and he was considering going on finasteride despite knowing about the sexual side effects. The problem accelerates after 50 because your body's natural ability to fight DHT decreases. Your scalp blood flow diminishes, inflammation increases. It's a perfect storm of hair loss factors all converging at once. That's why you might notice your hair thinning seems to accelerate dramatically in your 50s and 60s. It's not your imagination. The biological processes are genuinely speeding up. And here's the psychological damage nobody talks about. Hair loss strips away your confidence, your identity, your sense of masculinity. I've had patients break down crying in my office, men in their 60s who've held executive positions, who've raised families, who've accomplished incredible things, reduced to tears because they feel like they're losing themselves along with their hair. Why everything you've tried has failed you. Now let's talk about why conventional treatments have let you down. If you've tried minoxidil, that's Rogaine, you probably experienced some initial growth, maybe a bit of peach fuzz, but then it plateaued. Or worse, you got scalp irritation, itching, flaking, and when you stopped using it because you couldn't stand the side effects, all that new growth fell out within months. Here's why minoxidil fails for most men over 50. It's a vasodilator, meaning it temporarily increases blood flow to your scalp. But it doesn't address the root cause, DHT. It doesn't remove the calcification suffocating your follicles. It doesn't reduce inflammation. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Plus, you have to use it twice daily, every single day for the rest of your life. Miss a few applications and you're back to square one. Then there's finasteride, sold as Propecia or Proscar. This one actually blocks DHT production, which sounds great in theory. But here's what your doctor might not tell you. Up to 15% of men experience sexual side effects, including erectile dysfunction, decreased libido, and reduced semen volume. Some men develop depression and brain fog. And here's the terrifying part. For some men, these side effects persist even after stopping the medication. It's called post-finasteride syndrome, and it's ruined lives. I had a patient named James, 62, who started finasteride after his doctor assured him the side effects were rare. Within 3 months, he couldn't perform sexually with his wife of 35 years. He became depressed, anxious, couldn't concentrate at work. He stopped the medication immediately, but 6 months later, the problems persisted. When he came to me, he was desperate, saying he'd rather be bald than live like this. And don't even get me started on hair transplants. They cost anywhere from $4,000 to $15,000. They're painful, they require multiple sessions, and here's the kicker. If you don't address the underlying DHT problem, you'll just continue losing the non-transplanted hair around the new grafts, creating an unnatural, patchy appearance. Plus, many men over 50 don't have enough healthy donor hair to create the density they want. The fundamental problem with all these conventional treatments is that they're trying to override your body's natural processes with chemicals and surgery, rather than working with your body's innate healing abilities. They treat symptoms, not causes. They're designed to keep you dependent on expensive products and procedures for life. The discovery that changes everything. So what's the solution? What's this specific scalp spot I mentioned that can wake up your dormant follicles? Gentlemen, I'm about to share something that the hair loss industry has desperately tried to suppress because it threatens their billion-dollar profits. There's a specific point on your scalp located at the vertex. That's the very top center of your head where the hair naturally spirals out from. In traditional Chinese medicine, they call this the Bai Hui point, but what matters isn't the ancient terminology. It's the modern science behind why massaging this exact spot in a specific pattern creates a cascade of hair regenerating effects. This isn't just any massage. This is a targeted pressure point stimulation technique combined with a specific natural oil blend that I've refined over 15 years of clinical practice. When performed correctly for just 2 minutes daily, here's what happens at the cellular level. First, the mechanical stimulation increases blood flow by up to 300% to your entire scalp. Remember, your hair follicles need oxygen and nutrients delivered through your blood supply. By age 50, most men have significantly reduced scalp circulation. This massage reverses that. Second, the pressure stimulation activates something called dermal papilla cells. These are the cells at the base of your hair follicles that actually control hair growth. When you stimulate this vertex point correctly, you're sending signals through the fascial network of your scalp, essentially waking up these dormant cells and telling them to start producing hair again. Third, and this is crucial, the specific natural oil I'm going to tell you about contains powerful 5-alpha reductase inhibitors. That's the enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT. By applying this oil blend directly to your scalp, especially at this vertex point, you're blocking DHT formation right where it causes the most damage. The oil blend consists of 3 key ingredients: pumpkin seed oil, which studies have shown can block DHT as effectively as finasteride but without any side effects; rosemary oil, which in clinical trials performed as well as 2% minoxidil for hair regrowth; and castor oil, which contains ricinoleic acid that dramatically improves scalp circulation and has powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Now, I need to be clear about something. This isn't an overnight miracle cure. Nothing is. Anyone who promises you'll regrow a full head of hair in 2 weeks is lying to you. But what this method does is create the optimal environment for your follicles to regenerate naturally, working with your body's own healing mechanisms instead of against them. The science behind the scalp spot massage. Let me explain exactly why this works at a biological level, because understanding the science will help you believe in the process and commit to doing it consistently. Your scalp has 5 layers of tissue, and the health of your hair depends on what's happening in the deepest layers where your follicles are rooted. When you massage the vertex point with the correct pressure and circular motion, you're creating a mechanical stimulus that penetrates down through all 5 layers. This stimulus triggers what we call mechanotransduction. That's when mechanical forces get converted into biochemical signals. Essentially, your body interprets the massage pressure as a signal that this area needs more resources, so it diverts more blood flow, nutrients, and growth factors to your scalp. Think of your hair follicles like plants in a garden. If the soil is compacted and hard, if there's no water getting to the roots, if there's no nutrients available, those plants will wither and die. But if you aerate the soil, improve water flow, and add nutrients, even seemingly dead plants can spring back to life. That's exactly what we're doing with your scalp. The vertex point is particularly powerful because of something called the Gallia aponeurotica. That's a tough, tendon-like layer of tissue that covers the top of your skull. In many men, especially as they age, this layer becomes increasingly tight and inflexible. When it's tight, it restricts blood flow to the scalp tissue above it, essentially starving your follicles. By massaging the vertex point, you're stretching and loosening this Galea tissue. Studies using specialized scalp blood flow imaging have shown that men with male pattern baldness have significantly reduced blood flow in the exact pattern where they're losing hair. Coincidence? Absolutely not. Now, here's where the oil blend amplifies the effects exponentially. Pumpkin seed oil contains compounds called phytosterols that bind to the same receptors as DHT, essentially blocking DHT from attaching to your follicles. A study published in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine showed men taking pumpkin seed oil had 40% more hair growth compared to placebo. Rosemary oil works differently. It's a powerful stimulant that dilates blood vessels when applied topically, similar to minoxidil, but without the harsh chemicals. A comparative study in South Korea found that rosemary oil was as effective as 2% minoxidil for increasing hair count after 6 months of use. Plus, it reduces scalp inflammation caused by oxidative stress. Castor oil is the delivery vehicle that helps everything else penetrate deeper. It's thick, viscous, and contains the highest concentration of ricinoleic acid of any natural substance. That's a unique fatty acid with proven anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. It also improves the health of your existing hair, making it thicker and stronger while you're waiting for new growth. When you combine the mechanical stimulation of the vertex massage with the biochemical properties of this oil blend, you're attacking hair loss from multiple angles simultaneously. You're increasing blood flow, blocking DHT, reducing inflammation, stimulating dermal papilla cells, and creating the optimal environment for follicle regeneration. I had a patient named Thomas, 67 years old, who had been completely bald on top for over 15 years. He'd given up hope decades ago. When I explained this method to him, he was skeptical, but desperate enough to try anything. After just 3 weeks, he noticed less hair falling out. After 2 months, he called me excited because he could see tiny dark spots appearing on his scalp, new follicles emerging. After 6 months, he had genuine visible regrowth that his wife could hardly believe. Your exact step-by-step protocol. Now I'm going to give you the precise protocol that my patients follow. This is the exact method that has produced results for thousands of men, and if you follow it exactly as I describe, you'll maximize your chances of regrowing your hair. Step 1. Mix your oil blend. In a small dropper bottle, combine equal parts pumpkin seed oil, rosemary oil, and castor oil. Shake it well. This blend will last you about 2 weeks if you're using it daily. Store it in a cool, dark place to preserve the active compounds. Step 2. Apply the oil blend. Every evening before bed, put 10-15 drops of the oil blend into your palm. Rub your hands together to warm it slightly. Then, using your fingertips, apply the oil directly to your scalp, focusing especially on areas where you're experiencing thinning or baldness. Don't just apply it to your remaining hair. You want it on the scalp itself. Step 3. Locate the vertex point. Place your index finger at the very top center of your head where the hair naturally spirals out. This is your vertex point, your bai hui point, the critical spot we're targeting. Step 4. The massage technique. Using firm pressure, not painful, but definitely more than a gentle touch, begin making small circular motions with your fingertips at the vertex point. You're going to do 30 seconds of clockwise circles, then 30 seconds of counterclockwise circles. Repeat this pattern twice for a total of 2 minutes. The pressure should be firm enough that you can feel your scalp moving over your skull. You're not just moving your fingers through your hair, but you're actually mobilizing the scalp tissue itself. This is crucial. Step 5. Spread the stimulation. After focusing on the vertex point for 2 minutes, spend an additional minute spreading that same circular massage technique across your entire scalp, paying special attention to your hairline and any areas of visible thinning. Step 6. Leave the oil in overnight. Don't wash it out. Let those active compounds penetrate deep into your follicles while you sleep. In the morning, wash your hair with a gentle, sulfate-free shampoo. Common mistakes to avoid. First, don't apply too little oil. Your scalp should feel coated, almost saturated. Second, don't use too light of a touch during the massage. You need genuine pressure to mobilize that Galea tissue. Third, don't skip days. Consistency is everything. This works through cumulative effects, not one-time miracles. One more critical point. The quality of your oils matters tremendously. You need cold-pressed, organic oils. Refined oils have had most of their beneficial compounds destroyed during processing. Yes, they're more expensive, but we're talking about your hair, your confidence, your quality of life. This isn't the place to cut corners. What to expect? Your hair regrowth timeline. Let me set realistic expectations based on what I've seen with thousands of patients, so you know what to look for at each stage and don't get discouraged too early. Week 1. You probably won't see any visible changes yet, but you should notice less hair falling out. Check your shower drain, your pillow, your hairbrush. Most men report a 30–40% reduction in hair shedding within the first week. This is the first sign that your follicles are responding. Weeks 2 through 4, your scalp will feel different, healthier, less tight. You might notice your existing hair feels thicker, stronger, more anchored. This is because the improved circulation and nutrition is strengthening your current hair shafts and follicles. Months 2 and 3, this is when the magic starts happening. You'll begin seeing tiny dark spots on your scalp. These are new follicles emerging. They'll look like stubble at first, barely visible, but they're there. This is genuine new growth, not just thickening of existing hair. Take photos monthly so you can see the progress clearly. Months 4 through 6, the new growth becomes undeniable. Those stubble follicles develop into actual visible hairs. Your hairline may begin filling in. Your crown density improves noticeably. People will start commenting that you look different, younger, healthier, often without realizing it's your hair. Beyond 6 months, continued improvement. Remember, healthy hair grows about ½ an inch per month, so even new follicles need time to develop into full terminal hairs. By the 1-year mark, most of my patients have regained 40–60% of their lost density, which is enough to dramatically change their appearance and confidence. Robert, the patient I mentioned earlier who had spent $8,000 on failed transplants, followed this protocol religiously. After 8 months, his wife told him she felt like she was married to a younger man again. His colleagues asked if he'd gotten transplants. His confidence soared, and it cost him less than $100 total. Bonus tips for maximum results. Here are 3 additional strategies that will accelerate your results when combined with the Vertex massage protocol. Bonus tip 1. Scalp exfoliation weekly. Once a week before applying your oil blend, use a gentle scalp scrub to remove dead skin cells and product buildup. This allows the oils to penetrate more effectively. You can make your own with brown sugar and a bit of your oil blend. Bonus tip 2. Reduce scalp inflammation through diet. Avoid inflammatory foods like processed sugars, excessive alcohol, and fried foods. Increase your intake of omega-3 fatty acids from fish or flaxseed, and eat more foods rich in biotin, zinc, and vitamin D, all crucial for hair health. Bonus tip 3. Avoid harsh shampoos containing sulfates and silicones. These chemicals strip your scalp's natural oils and can build up on your follicles, suffocating them. Switch to a gentle, natural shampoo. Your hair might feel different for a week or 2 as your scalp rebalances, but then it'll be healthier than ever. Critical warning, if you're using chemical hair dyes, stop. The ammonia and peroxide in hair dyes penetrate deep into your follicles and can damage the dermal papilla cells we're trying to stimulate. Switch to natural dyes if you must color your hair. Your new beginning starts tonight. Gentlemen, I've given you everything you need to take control of your hair loss naturally, safely, and affordably. This isn't some gimmick or temporary solution. This is a sustainable, science-based approach that works with your body's natural healing abilities to regenerate dormant follicles. Think about what regaining your hair would mean for your life, the confidence you'd feel, the way you'd look in the mirror, how differently people might respond to you. Your appearance affects every aspect of your life, whether we want to admit it or not. You can begin this protocol tonight. Go to your local health food store or order the oils online. Mix your blend, apply it, massage that vertex point for 2 minutes. That's all it takes to start the process. 2 minutes. You spend longer checking your phone before bed. And here's my challenge to you. Commit to 90 days. Take a photo of your scalp today from the top, from the front hairline, and from the crown. Then do this protocol every single night for 90 days and take those same photos again. I'm confident you'll be amazed at the difference. If this video has given you hope, if you're going to try this method, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now, subscribe to this channel for more natural hair loss solutions, and most importantly, comment below with the words, "I'm trying this." That simple act of public commitment will make you much more likely to follow through. I'll be reading every comment and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. We're building a community of men who refuse to accept baldness as inevitable, who are taking control of their health naturally. Remember, gentlemen, you don't have to go bald. Your follicles aren't dead, they're just sleeping. And tonight, you're going to start waking them up.